Welcome to Movie Monday on Coffee with Alain. We're going to talk about the Mandalorian and Grogu today. Hope everybody had a nice weekend, starting the week out right if it's your Monday. Some people work through the weekend. They might have today off. Wherever you're at in your stages, hope it's going well. Because I didn't get to see a bunch of movies when I was laid up in surgery and in Philadelphia. Saw one movie in Philadelphia, but now I'm catching up. So I went to see The Mandalorian Grogu last night, and it was a fun movie. Now, I'll admit, I have not watched the series. It's something that I meant to watch and just never did. So I didn't know as much about the character as those that maybe religiously watch everything Star Wars and watch all the series, because I didn't watch it. With that said, you can go to this movie without having watched the series and still enjoy it. It stands on its own. And so I did enjoy it. I liked how, even though these are new characters, they reference some of the older characters from the original movies that I grew up with. You know, you have relatives of Jabba the Hutt. You have Jabba's son and other relatives. And so having those characters incorporated ties it in with those original movies. And it was just a fun movie. A lot of great special effects. I mean, everything's so digital now that they can just do amazing things. When you think back 1977, when I went to the original Star Wars in the movie theater, they didn't have near the technology and capabilities to do things digitally like they do now. And that was one of the things that made that movie so special. And sometimes I miss some of the old filmmaking. Sure, it's not as dynamic and fantastic on the screen as the digital stuff we get now, but there was something more real about it. And so sometimes I miss that. But this was a fun movie. Different creatures, different worlds, lots of fighting and shooting and blasting. Had a good story behind it as far as a feel-good message type. You know, the honor and the friendship and not leaving people behind and some of that. So it was fun. Sigourney Weaver had a part in it. It's cool to see her in there. You know, I mean, she's been doing space movies since Alien way back in the 70s as well. And, you know, remarkable actress. So it's cool to see her in that role. When I was watching the credits at the beginning, they mentioned Martin Scorsese, who I'm a fan of all of his works. I was like, wow, I didn't know he had a cameo or a role or a part in this. So I was watching and listening to try to see Martin Scorsese, and I couldn't. So after the movie, I had to Google and say, what did Martin Scorsese do in the film? And it turns out he was the voice of the sandwich maker in the little sandwich truck, little guy with like 4 arms or whatever making sandwiches. That was Martin Scorsese's voice. So I thought it was cool that he had that cameo in there, even though I missed it when I was watching the movie. But it was fun. So if you are a Star Wars fan, if you like the series, you'll like it. If you like space, science fiction, fantasy, fun movies with, you know, the different creatures and stuff, you'll enjoy it as well. Also, last night went out the newsletter. If you missed the newsletter, there was an article about real violence and the difference between real violence and training. There was an article about balance and how that is so important, not just in our martial arts, but in our life. You know, even reference the old Karate Kid movies where Mr. Miyagi was teaching Daniel about balance on the boat, but then talked about balance later with the girlfriend, Allie. So balance, very important. And then I had a little motivational article about don't just live it, explore it, about getting out and exploring more of life. That was inspired by a friend of mine, Thomas, who has been posting some pictures of his Africa trip. He and his wife have been doing things in Africa and just some amazing photos and experiences they've had. And that's what inspired that particular article. So that was in the newsletter, plus links to movie reviews, links to blog posts, stuff. So if you're not getting it, go to enjoylifesafely.com, get on that newsletter list. All right, I'm going to say hello to a couple people, then I'm going to get off here and get doing my PT. Good morning, Jay and Vicky and Sarah. Appreciate all of you guys being here and saying hello. Good morning, Thad. Appreciate you saying good morning. Good morning, Phil. Phil said, not a movie for rom-com fans. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Phil. I mean, it was a fun movie for, anybody. I mean, as far as if you're a romantic comedy fan, I don't know why you wouldn't like it. There was no romance in it, but it was still a fun movie. It had its funny parts, it had its sad parts, it had its touching parts, lots of action. So yeah, not a rom-com movie, but you can like more than one type of movie. I like all types of movies. Jay said, heck yeah. Thank you, Jay. I appreciate that. Dixon said, did Patrick Stewart have a cameo? I mean, he's a bona fide Shakespearean trained actor. No, Patrick didn't. I mean, he's the captain in the Star Trek universe and in the other Marvel universe. So he has connections with Disney and so forth, but he wasn't in the Star Wars movie last night. Fantastic actor, though, that's for sure. Thank you, everybody, for joining and commenting. Thank you, everybody, watching replays. Thank you, all of you that listening to the podcast, whether it's the website, Spotify, Apple, wherever. Appreciate all of you. Remember to sign up for that newsletter if you haven't yet. Another one will go out next weekend. You don't want to miss that good stuff. Check out the free downloads, the different courses available at Enjoy Life Safely while you're there as well. All good stuff to help you defend yourself if you have to. Stay safe and enjoy life and be exceptional. Make it a movie Monday, and I will be back to see you tomorrow.